When you look at Jesus, we see that he doesn't lecture as much as we might think. He spends a lot of time with his disciples on the road, along the way, and he's forming them. The question we have to ask when we look at leadership is, how do we form leaders, and how do leaders form their followers? And when we look at Jesus, there's a tendency in our culture to think that we just need to explain things, and we need to have the right ideas and the right thinking, and that somehow we're going to think our way into new ways of acting. But when you look at Jesus, we see that he doesn't lecture as much as we might think. I mean, he gives the Sermon on the Mount, for example, and that's an extended address. But he spends a lot of time with his disciples on the road, along the way, and he's forming them. And there's dialogue and conversation. He sends them out into the mission field to practice and try things, brings them back, kind of mentors and coaches them, sends them back out, brings them back. So there's much more of a learning as you go on the way. There's a better integration of what today we might call, we talk about orthodoxy, but there's also ortho praxis, and we have to integrate these two things. So Jesus teaches the truth, but he also sends them out to enact and perform what he's teaching them. And then he also models what he's teaching and sending them out to do. So there's almost 3 touch points for them. So the other thing I would say too is that when he does teach, he teaches oftentimes through narrative and through storytelling. So he uses a lot of analogies and metaphors and word pictures, if you will, to try to help them understand what are otherwise complicated concepts and ideas. And I think that's really important. I think a leader has to engage the imagination of his or her followers in order to energize them and inspire them for the mission.